Greetings! Welcome along to Robin's Book Club, episode number 35, and the first one of 2022. So, a very happy new year to you. Let's make some brilliant plans, or at least some goals. Let's set some goals for 2022 and try and achieve them. Let's not go into that now, but, it's just a nice idea, isn't it? This episode, we're looking at the Taschen book about Man Ray. I've had to do some editing in this. I've had to do some sort of self-imposed censoring, because I'm just not too sure about YouTube and nudity, shall we say. So there are some photos in here which I just think are probably not worth showing. So just cover that off to start with and tell you that it is not the whole book. But we know what to expect from these Taschen books. You get sort of the edited highlights of that person's photography. We get the essays in English and French and German. And this is a really great book. Published back in 2008, this book really focuses on Man Ray, 1890 to 1976, and what an amazing photographer what an amazing artist he was. He talks a lot, there's loads of quotes from Man Ray throughout the book, and I'll read you some in a moment, but he really talks about photography being something that he does when painting is not appropriate. One of the quotes is, "I know just one thing, how I express myself in one way or another. Photography offers me the means more simply and faster than painting." He also asserts that his work was not experimental because art is not science, even though he was in many ways a bit of a sort of a leading figure in photographic experimentation, shall we say. Not that he would. There's a lot of focus on the rheograph, which he invented and then named after himself, which, lacks modesty, but fair enough. I think if I invented a photographic process, I very well might call it the cadiograph. The book is nearly 200 pages long, and you ought to be able to pick this up probably second hand now for a relatively good price. So in the usual way, let's conclude this video about Man Ray, the Taschen Icons series book, by looking at some of my favourite photographs and perhaps posing some questions. Think about what happens in this instance where you pose two identical but opposite photographs. You know, literally opposite, the inverse negative print. The wrong way round, the whites are black and the blacks are white, but you pair them and you get something much more than the image just on the right, which is, I think, a very successful photograph in its own right. I think it's a beautiful photograph. But yeah, think about that and whether that's appropriate to do in your own photography. It might not be, and it's probably not something you'd want to do all the time, but from time to time or for a specific project, could be a good idea. Think about this. Think about the lighting of this photograph. Think about the styling and the makeup. Think about those eyelashes, which are, quite frankly, remarkable. But just think about what has gone into that photograph other than just the concept. The concept itself is fantastic, isn't it? So think about how you can apply a concept and think about how you can do that with props and with makeup and with lighting and with an unusual crop. I mean, you would not normally see a photograph of somebody's face with a crop like that, but it works perfectly well for that. And just notice, by the way, that one of the tears was cropped off as well. Did he do that in the studio? Did he do it in the darkroom? Don't know. And I just thought that we would leave ourselves with this. If we're thinking about 2022 and we're thinking about goals and we're thinking about improving our photography, if that indeed is a goal for you for 2022, then I suggest that this could be a good exercise. One piece of fruit, your choice. One prop, your choice. Make a photograph that is as good as either of these two. I'm sure we won't. But it'd be interesting to try, wouldn't it? Initially with the apple on the left, you don't notice that it doesn't have its little bit of stalk there. It has a screw. And the picture of the peach, or is it a peach or is it nectarine? Probably a peach, isn't it, on the right? Just fantastic. So just have a think about whether you could even come close to something as glorious as that. And we'll be back again very soon with Martin Parr next, The Last Resort. Perhaps I should ask you to like and subscribe, as that, you know, is a traditional thing. Perhaps that could be a goal for 2022, to like and subscribe and see where we can go with Robin's Book Club.